Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to the Splendid Life podcast, where we chat about life, love, family, career, and all things woman. I'm your host, Kimberly Conrad, master life coach, author, speaker, and artist. I'm so thrilled you're here. Let's dive in. Well, my friends, if you followed the first iteration of this podcast, the She Splendid podcast years ago, welcome back. And if you're new here, thanks so much for tuning in. Since it's been a few years, actually 5 years to be exact, I should probably begin by reintroducing myself and share a little bit about the name change. I'm a woman who loves being a woman. I'm a lover of the ocean, color, all things vintage, art, birds, dogs, travel, coffee, hats, books, and so much more. I began with this because whenever I meet someone new and say, "Tell me about yourself," they often begin with their job title and proceed to tell me what they do, when what I really want to know is who they are. Who we are and what we do are connected, but what we do is not who we are. What we do is how we express who we are. It's how we share our gifts and talents with the world. It's how we connect with and help others through our expertise, education, and skills. I'm also a wife of 39 years, a mother to four amazing grown sons, and Grammy to five precious souls. I'm a teacher and a maker by nature. Now for what I do, which is how I express and live out who I am. I'm a professional artist, an art business coach, art therapy coach. I'm a master life coach holding multiple certifications, an author, and a speaker. I operate my own gallery, Kimberly Conrad Contemporary Art Gallery in Denver, Colorado, where I host workshops, one-on-one, and group coaching sessions. I'm the founder of She Splendid, which is a coaching program that supports midlife women, and the Splendid Life Studio. She Splendid has been around for a long time, but the Splendid Life Studio is new, and here's how it came to be. So, like most of you, and as I just explained, I wear many hats, and at one time I managed social media sites for each one, which was completely exhausting and also very counterproductive. And I reached a point where something definitely needed to change. So I decided to combine most of what I do under one umbrella. And I recently rebranded what has been Kimberly Conrad Contemporary Art on social media to the Splendid Life Studio. So these pages will still, of course, share my artwork that's for sale, but will now also be the home for my art coaching, workshops, courses, and retreats, which will be coming. The She Splendid social media pages remain, and my passion there is in guiding midlife women in discovering and embodying the highest version of themselves so that they can step into the biggest version of their lives. And over there, we refer to this season as the Splendid Second Chapter. So the name change makes everything more cohesive. And the podcast will still encompass everything it did before, with the addition of art related episodes to support my fellow artists. And because I believe that everyday life should be a beautifully curated work of art. Our episodes will still, for the most part, be short and sweet, maybe longer when I have guests. I know how busy you are. I always want to be respectful of your time while sharing what I hope are helpful, inspiring words for curating a splendid life. Again, welcome, and I'm so happy you're here. And by the way, we keep it very simple here. I don't use a fancy recording studio. I like to keep it simple so that I can pop on and chat with you whenever inspiration strikes. All right. I've used up some of our time reintroducing myself, so I'd like to chat for just a few minutes today about something that's been on my heart for a while now, and that is our current culture of go, 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 and how sometimes it's an act of courage just to rest. The philosophy of grind it out, go till you drop is so prevalent in the business world, but it's also a trap we can fall into in everyday life. I know I've fallen into this trap in many, many seasons of my life, both as a business owner and as a mother raising 4 kids. And I know I'm not alone. I know I'm speaking somebody's language. There was a saying in the motivational community years ago, and I'm certain it's probably still used today. In fact, I know I've heard it within the last year. And it went something like, you stop when you're done, not when you're tired, or gosh, maybe it was, you don't quit when you're tired, you quit when you're done. Oh my. This philosophy, which admittedly I bought into for a very long time, guys, this led a lot of talented people with amazing potential into emotional burnout and physical exhaustion. It also led to the breakdown of many relationships and even failed businesses. And this isn't conjecture, my friends. I witnessed this firsthand. And while it works for some short term, this is a completely unbalanced way of working and being. It's operating 100% in masculine energy, which is out of balance. If you've worked with me before, you know that I coach a lot around the balance or the marriage of masculine and feminine energies. So we are all made up of both masculine and feminine energy. And we're most successful in life, well, and business, when we operate in a balance of both. But we get into trouble when we get stuck in one energy or the other for an extended period of time. So the masculine energy is extremely assertive. It's action oriented. It's driven. It's decisive. It's often tunnel visioned. This is the energy needed when it's go time, right? It's the energy of action, doing, rolling up our sleeves, making things happen, getting it all done. And this is a beautiful, powerful energy. And it's an energy that we absolutely need. However, this energy needs to be balanced with the feminine energy so that the action we're taking is the right action, that the timing is right, and that it's in alignment with our own unique soul's purpose while also serving the greater good. The feminine energy operates more in intuition and receptivity. It typically embodies compassion, creativity, connectivity. It fosters relationship, and it's in tune with how decisions and actions affect others. It goes within and connects to the inner guidance system, listening, allowing, and being. Some of the women I coach get stuck in the feminine energy. And what this looks like is they spend the majority of their time learning, reviewing, listening, going over and over ideas or decisions with others, contemplating, planning, all on repeat. So they have trouble switching into the masculine energy. That helps them to get up and actually get out and do or put into action what their intuition or their inner guidance system is directing them to do. Most of the time, as we work together, we discover they're staying in that place primarily out of fear, the fear of doing, the fear of changing, the fear of being visible, the fear of rocking the boat in their relationships. And we do the work to move them forward. The opposite of this, and what I'm seeing more of these days, in all honesty, is women who are operating primarily in their masculine energy. So, what does this look like? Well, often they're listening to what everyone else is saying. They're looking around at what everyone else is doing to succeed. If it worked for so and so, it must be the right way or it must be the best way. And they completely exhaust themselves trying to do what everyone else is doing instead of taking the time to get quiet, go within, and listen to their own inner guidance system, tap into their intuition. Again, we all have this inner guidance system, and it's how we connect with all that we truly are created to be, not just the current version of ourselves. Going within is how we connect with the highest version of ourselves, the self that is waiting to evolve. Connecting with the highest version of ourselves is the prerequisite to becoming that version of ourselves. Becoming that version truly begins with being and then moves into doing. So, as we connect to and align with and begin to embody and be the highest version of ourselves, we begin to know what it is that we are to do. We're intuitively guided in making aligned decisions and taking our own unique next step toward whatever our current calling is. And I say current because most of us are called to do many things at many times in our lives. But when we're truly aligned and taking right aligned action, the doing is invigorating, it's inspiring, it's fulfilling, it's not exhausting and draining. And I'm not saying that if you're living and operating in alignment with your purpose, you'll never be tired. I'm saying that if you're living and operating according to your guidance system, emotional, physical, and spiritual burnout will not be your state of being. Our inner guidance system also lets us know when it's time to rest both our minds and our bodies. Rest, my friends, is an integral part of growth. It's often during times of rest, for me especially, I know that our greatest ideas come to light. It might seem counterproductive, but sometimes in the long run, the more we slow down, the faster we actually go. All right, friends, I promise to keep it short, but allow yourself to ruminate on this and we'll talk more about it in the future. For today, I'd like to invite you to take 10 or 15 minutes in a quiet place without distractions. Begin with a few deep breaths, then just close your eyes, take a few more deep breaths. It's good to go in through the nose for 4, out through the mouth for 8 for a couple of times. The purpose of this time is to quiet your mind. If chatter starts up in your brain, take a few more deep breaths, focus on those breaths, and just sit with yourself in the quiet. When I began doing this very consistently 2 decades ago, it was really hard for me. It was so hard for me to sit still because I'm a doer. And I always felt like sitting still was a waste of time. And to be honest, the chatter in my brain was insane. But I kept showing up. I practiced. I created a rhythm. And eventually, it became life-giving. I began to hear as I sat in the quiet, not audibly, but that voice from within. Some of my sessions now are simply to quiet the noise, to rest my mind, and other times I'll ask a very specific question, and then as I sit in the quiet, the answer will come. And sometimes it comes during the session of quiet. Other times it will come shortly afterwards in the form of something I see or read or hear, or maybe through a conversation. I know you guys have experienced this as well. Sometimes the answer just pops into my head when I'm doing something completely unrelated. But I know now how important it is to sit in the quiet and drown out all the noise of the world, both good and bad, and hear my own voice. Learning to sit in the quiet with yourself is the beginning of being, which is the prerequisite for doing. And it's where true becoming or embodiment begins. More on this soon, my friends, but for now, go curate your splendid life and remember to rest.